Alright, welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. For those of you who have seen my video on Culebra, landing in Culebra, there it is. I don't think we can get this plane down there though. So the story with this is we are 19 minutes out from St. Maarten. We are in the Aerosoft CRJ900. Currently flying over, just over Puerto Rico now. Heading towards St. Maarten. So I'm going to try to make this respectable. So let's get going here. Checklist. Alright, descent checklist, landing level set. That is set, although I do need to put in the MDA, not the decision height, the MDA. Which is 770 feet on this approach into St. Maarten. Alright, and let's see here. Whoops, no. We want that on, we want that off. Alright, this MDA is set for 770. TCAS is on, radar is off. CAS is checked. Do want to set our landing data. Want to wait till later in the flight to do this just because your weights will be different. So landing speed today is going to be VREF 134. So I'll try and fly this approach at 140 knots, give or take. Alright, let's see. Checklist. Approach briefing. Alright, let's brief the approach. Alright, and I want to actually start getting down here now. One thing in an airplane like this is you really have to plan your descent. Because if you don't, see TOD right there is top of descent, and what this is telling me, so I need to cross Gouda at 2,600 feet or above on this approach. And so I'm just getting myself moving here. But what I really want is vertical speed mode. 3,000 feet. I'll bring that power back a little bit. You see, this is telling me I need 3,000 feet per minute to meet this crossing target. And when you come over here, that snowflake is kind of where I want to be on the glide slope if this were like akin to an ILS. And this little blue dot is telling me where I want to be in terms of vertical speed. So we're about to cross Stiv here. It's got 78 miles to go to Gouda. Let's put in the correct crossing altitude that we're trying to hit. Which is 2,600, so we got that tuned in right there. Speed is 790 with 0.79 Mach, which is what we want in the descent. Alright, let's get our weather at St. Maarten. Weather's not really the big deal. The real thing that I really want is the altimeter setting. So I'm looking on ForeFlight here in front of me. Altimeter setting at St. Maarten is 3006. So I'm going to write that down. .3006. Alright, so in our descent we are actually below our target, which is what I want because I'd rather get to... See, this is Gouda, and that right there, that waypoint, and this, they call it banana. This magenta banana here shows me where I'm going to where I'm going to cross Gouda, or excuse me, where I'm going to hit the altitude that I have set here. Now, if you watch here, I'm bringing the power back, and what that's going to do is move this banana this way. That means I'm getting closer to it. And actually what I'm really going to do is just bring it right back to flight idle. Descending in a jet is a totally different deal than descending in a a propeller airplane of any kind. Alright, so let's have a look here at our approach into St. Maarten. I could bring up the Navigraph charts, but I don't want to risk it. I've been flying for 3 hours and I don't want to risk bringing that up and having it drop off on me. So next time I do this, have the simulator crash is essentially what I'm worried about. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. All right, radios. Let's put in a backup frequency of 128.95. Put it into the scratch pad here, and then you put it into the pre-select, and then that's essentially your backup frequency. Now I want to get back to the VNAV page that I was just at. Hit VNAV, go over 3 pages, and then you get the descent info page. Click on that. Alright, and as you can see, that banana is moving this way, which means I'm going to be reaching 2,600 feet earlier, which is what I want. Alright, so we're going to cross Gouda at 2,600 feet, heading of 091. Evaki is the initial approach fix. I want to cross that at 2,600 on a heading of 095. We can then descend down to 1,700 for lessor, and then inbound from lessor's glide slope intercept at 1,700 feet, inbound on a 096 degree heading, 3 degree glide slope. 3 degree glide slope at 140 knots is 743 feet per minute. So that's essentially what we want to do. Missed approach, climb to 4,000, right turn direct on bed. So this is what I did when I screwed up last approach, and I didn't have a good plan. And the problem is whenever you hit an altitude, see, I'm set in speed mode right now, or in vertical speed mode right now, but I have an altitude set. And so when we get to that altitude, it's going to capture that altitude. And as soon as it captures that altitude, you've got to put the next altitude you want into this position here. And what I screwed up last time was I crossed lessor at 1,700 feet. I was perfect, right on speed, right on glide slope, everything. But I left this at 1,700. And when I put in vertical speed of 700 feet per minute descent, what it did was it descended for 2 seconds and then it captured the altitude at 1700 feet. The reason it did that is because I didn't put in the missed approach altitude of 4,000 feet after Avaki, and I need to do that. So once I cross Avaki and I come down to 1700 feet, once I hit 1700 feet, I need to put that altitude 4,000 feet in there, and then that way it's not going to try to capture it when I do my final descent. Alright, that all being said, I'm just kind of thinking out loud for myself. And the other thing that's kind of stressful about these flights, this is my 3rd or 4th flight in the St. Maarten in this airplane. And the other thing that's kind of a little bit stressful about these types of flights is that you've flown for 3 hours and you got one shot at this approach, and you don't want to mess it up. Alright, so what did I say? 3006 for the barometer, right? Alright, 306, I'm on the FMS 100, or FMS 1 rather. Alright, speed I want, I'm going to put in 210. Actually, I'm going to put in 250 for crossing 10,000 feet. And I'm going to need to decrease my vertical speed here so that I slow down. Because otherwise, see, I'm at 1,600 feet now. Otherwise, I'm just going to come barreling through 10,000 feet at 300 knots. You're not allowed to do that. Alright. Weather should be pretty good. Starting to slow down. Alright, approach is done. Alright, let's put on our landing lights. Let's put on the seatbelt light for the passengers. Check the CAS seatbelts and smoke lights on. Thrust reversers armed. And we're slowing down here a little bit. It's a little bit better. Alright, so we're 20 miles from Gouda. Uh, 122.8, alright. Princess Juliana traffic, American 264, 20 miles from Gouda inbound in the RNAV 10 approach, Juliana. I'll let people know where I am. Alright, so 210 is the speed I want. The minimum clean air speed. Once it captures that altitude, that's what I'm going to move to. And once it captures the altitude of 2,600 feet, you can see Saba over there. St. Maarten is off in this direction. Once it comes down to 2,600 feet and captures that, then I'm going to put it in speed mode. Okay, 5,600, descending 2,600. 12 miles to Gouda. And this airplane, the interesting thing about flying this airplane is that you do not have an auto throttle. So you can set your vertical speeds and your altitudes and all this fun stuff, but you know what's controlling the airspeed and the descent rate? Effectively, the airspeed is what you're controlling, but the pilot is controlling that. There is no auto throttle, so you've got to be, see St. Maarten off there to our left. You've got to be constantly aware. Okay, pressurization is set. I know that CAS is checked. Altimeter is QNH. Landing data is set. I'll dial it back to 180 now. Just minimum clean airspeed. Excuse me, which is where I want to be with flaps. So about 1,000 to go to our speed, to our altitude here of 2,600. So we're gonna get a beep here in a second. That's 1,000 to go. And yes, should this be pretty simple? Yes, it should be. But guess what? Flying jets is a different ball game. 500 to go. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this transition, this learning process. A lot of the learning process was this baby right here. Okay, so altitude capture. It's going to capture 2,600. And the airspeed is then going to be in my right hand with these throttles. See that airspeed's already slowing down. So we'll bring in some power. Bring in the first notch of flaps. Juliana, traffic American 264, Gouda inbound on the RNAV 15, Juliana. Bring in some more power here. Okay, I'll get myself settled here. Okay. And that next notch of flaps, I gotta bring in some more power here. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the altitude down to 2,600, or excuse me, to 1,700, which is what I'm crossing Avaki at. So Avaki, we're 19 miles from Avaki. Crossing Avaki at crossing Avaki at 1,700. See, I just put that power up just a little bit, and my speed jumped from 160 to 200. Alright, speed, I'm going to dial it back down. And the reason I'm putting in a speed, even though I'm controlling it effectively, is that I want to be able to, I want to have the opportunity to at least hit that button if I need to. Alright, power's coming back to 60 here, ish. Alright. Once we hit Avaki, things are going to happen quickly. So once we hit Avaki, then I am going to vertical speed mode, 1,700 feet. I always get these pauses right before landing. I don't know what this story is on that. Alright. Be slowing this thing down here. Okay, 180. Alright, 30 miles, we are in terminal mode. Alright, 160, don't want to get going too much slower than that. Juliana traffic, American 264, 10 miles from Avaki inbound on the RNAV 10, Juliana. Alright. A little too slow now. Flaps 20. Okay, the airspeed's picking up a little bit, which is what we want. 7 miles from Avaki. Once we hit Avaki, it is gonna bring some power out there and let that climbing. $150 knots is okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
Okay. So once we cross Avaki, bring out a little tiny bit of power. Once we hit Avaki, I'm going to put in the full flaps, put the gear down. We're going to hit vertical speed mode for for 500 feet per minute. Juliana traffic, American 264, Avaki inbound on the RNAV 10, Juliana. Alright, lights are set. Reverse thrusters are set.
Traffic.
Where's their traffic? Alright. Oh, beautiful. I mean, look at that. $4 miles from Lessor. Juliana traffic, American 264, 10 mile final runway 10, Juliana. Now once this captures, I'm going to put the altitude up to 4,000. To add some power here. I think about 70 is where I'm going to want it. Okay, altitude capture. '73 maybe? Alright, now altitude to 4,000. Which is the missed approach altitude. And what that's also going to do, it's going to prevent this thing from doing an altitude capture when I put it in vertical speed mode at Lessor. Okay. Critical speed. Juliana traffic, American 264, lessor inbound on the RNAV 10. Juliana. And this bozo, I mean, I don't know who it is, but alright, gear is down indicating flaps are set. Juliana traffic, American 264, 3-mile final, runway 10, Juliana. And I'm just going to completely ignore this bozo and just land. So I don't know what that was all about. Autopilot just made a hard right turn for me.
500.
Not quite sure why it did that.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Look at that. Okay, nose wheel is down, thrust reversers. And we'll step on the brakes here. And right over here to our right is Mary's Boone. Good old Mary's Boone Hotel. Or Beach Club. I forget what the official word is, but it's Mary's Boone. And it is a great place. It's right there. It's where some of my St. Maarten landing videos were taken from.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
Juliana traffic, American 264, back taxiing runway 10, Juliana. Now that approach was easily my best. That landing was pretty good for whatever reason. On short final, the autopilot decided that it wanted to hang a hard right. I think it maybe was flying the missed approach. That's the only excuse I can come up with for it. For its poor behavior. It's possible because I didn't kick the autopilot off before the minimum descent altitude that it just assumed I wanted to descend. I don't know. But whatever thought process it was going through, I will have to try and look at the flight plan here in a second and figure it out. But here we are at Princess Juliana. Alright, So let's slow the plane down here. Let's turn the taxi lights on, turn the landing lights off, and go park Alpha 3 today. And once this airplane is settled here, Juliana, traffic American 264 is clear of the runway, Juliana. You can feel free to do something else. I'm going to shut this airplane down. Let's put on the parking brake here. I'm going to... Engines are at idle. Let's do the shutdown. Parking brake is on. Seatbelts. Let's turn that off so everybody can get out of their seats and get their bags. Everybody's probably going crazy. Thrust levers. Let's go to shut off. This. Pull it back. Hit this. Pull it back. Alright. Anti-ice off. Fuel pumps off. Anti-ice is off. Fuel pumps off. Just hit one of them, it turns them both off. Alright, the beacon off. Nav light off, strobe light off, leave logo lights on, even though I don't need to, it's just kind of cool. Alright, nose wheel steering off. And that shut down the FMS too, which is not what I wanted. I was trying to figure out why the airplane went on that hard right turn, but hey, I was ready for it. Alright. Let's put the wheel chocks. Ground power. Let's open the door, get the stairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
So all of my humans now can, let's turn off the hydraulic pumps. Done, 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 done. Whoops. Hydraulic pumps are all off. External lights are all off. Let's turn the logo light off. APU is off. Battery master. We'll hit that. Keep the air conditioning on so people don't get hot. Turn the master buzz here for a second. Cockpit lighting. Now I want to see. No, see the flight plan isn't in here anymore. Let me look real quick. No, flight plan's not in there. Even though, let's see. Nah, it's not gonna matter because I didn't put. Alright, so in any event, the airplane is shut down. And here we are at Juliana Airport. And it's just so beautiful down here. I'm really kind of happy. I've been really enjoying flying this airplane. And I just decided after Christmas that I was going to buy this and fly it. And I've been really enjoying it. I've been learning the plane by flying from Miami to St. Maarten. Kind of repeating the same flight allows you to pick similar, descent points and allows you to really kind of get used to flying the plane a little bit. I'm getting better at it. I still got a ways to go. But it's a lot of fun. I think that what I'm going to do is switch to the CRJ. This is the CRJ 900, but I think what I'm going to do is switch to the 700 and the Caribbean Airlines livery, and fly the little 700 around the Caribbean. I will stay true to my roots of flying, you know, the Islander and the 152 and hopping around. I've just been basically flying this a lot because it's new to me and it's sort of cool, you know. But I'm not going to get away from my Caribbean stuff that I've been doing forever on here that I've been having a lot of fun with. You know, this is just kind of a new wrinkle. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that approach, and talk to you next time.